Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Thursday, August 25th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core plays for today. It is a small 6-game main slate overall today, and then talking about my top GPP stacks. At the time of this recording, my article is not yet up over at webetats.com, but once that article is available, I'll leave a link to it down in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we went with Shane McClanahan at $11,200. Got to 49 points. He was a hit. I believe he was the second overall pitcher on yesterday's slate. Then we moved down to first base with Rhys Hoskins at $3,200. Got to 19.5 points, so he was a hit as well. A very good play yesterday. We had Bryson Stott at second base. You could also play him at shortstop, $2,600. Got to 12.2 points, so he was a good hit as well. Then we moved down to the outfield with Cedric Mullins at $2,800. He got to 9 points, so he was a hit as well. And then last but not least, we had Randy Arozarena at $3,600. Got to 9 points. Did give him a push yesterday just because, he's up over that, like 3,000 threshold where we're looking for double-digit points. Unfortunately, he only got to 9, but not a guy that hurt you by any means yesterday. So overall, a pretty good group of 5 core picks yesterday. If you had some other decent plays along with these ones, you cashed pretty easy yesterday. Myself, I just missed personally, and most of the lines I played didn't have a lot of Dodgers. That was kind of my mistake, but the lines that did have Dodgers yesterday did very well as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core plays for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Kevin Gausman. He's $10,500, averaging about 35 fantasy points per game on the season. Doesn't sound like much here, especially at that $10,500 price tag. So you're kind of like, do I want to play Kevin Gausman today? Well, the 4 starts that he's had against Boston this season, these are the end results. So 42 points, 61, 49, and 55. So if you add that all together, average it out, just under 52 points per game this season against the Boston Red Sox. So some pretty good history there. Coming off a 52-point performance against the New York Yankees as well. So I do have a lot of interest in Kevin Gausman today. Then we're going to move down to second baseman Jean Segura. He has no history versus Justin Dunn, who's the starting pitcher today. He's at $2,800, averaging about 9.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Should be a pretty good spot for the Phillies once again, and I like getting to Jean Segura once again today. Then we're going to go with his teammate at third base, Alec Baum. He also doesn't have history versus Justin Dunn. The only guy in this lineup that really does is Bradley Zimmer, and he's not hitting the ball at all, so you probably don't want to play him anyways. But Alex Baum is $3,000, averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's been hitting the ball really well as of late. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. He's got hits in 10 of his last 11 games, so definitely do not have a problem going back to him once again today. $3,000, pretty reasonable price tag overall as well. Then we'll move down to the outfield. We got Gavin Sheets at $2,300, only averaging about 6.5 fantasy points per game on the season. And he goes against the Baltimore Orioles and Jordan Lyles today. He is 2 for 4 with 1 home run versus Lyles in his career. So very small sample size, but good sample size at that. He had a 3-hit game yesterday, so kind of on that right track. I think it could be another good game for him once again today. And then last but not least in the outfield, we're going right back to Cedric Mullins at $3,100. He's averaging just under 10.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against Lance Lynn today. He's 3 for 9 versus him. Not like crazy history in the past, but still pretty good history at that. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have this year, you'll have $13,300 remaining, just over $3,300 per player. So that definitely opens up some opportunities whether you want to pay up for a player. I think the most expensive hitter on this slate, besides Aaron Judge, is going to be like Alex Bregman at $4,300. So there is some opportunities to pay up for guys there. If you want to take a little bit more balance build, that's definitely fine as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my top GPP stacks for today. As I already mentioned, my article over at webetats.com is not up at the time of this recording, but once it is available, I'll leave a link to it down in the comments below. So the stacks that I do have for today, we're going to go with the Chicago White Sox going against Jordan Lyles. Jordan Lyles is kind of one of them pitchers. He's kind of liable to blow up at any point in time, and the White Sox have pretty decent history versus him, so do not mind getting some White Sox today, whether it's a Gavin Sheets. And some of the cheaper guys are the guys that do have pretty good history versus him as well. Josh Harrison, and Elvis Andrus, guys like that even. So definitely some good pay down options if you want to go there today. Then I do have the Philadelphia Phillies once again. They're going against Justin Dunn. As I kind of mentioned already, none of these hitters really have history versus him except Bradley Zimmer. And Bradley Zimmer, you probably don't want to play at this point in time, but this Phillies team's been hitting the ball pretty well. Should be a favorable matchup for them once again today. Then we move over to the Mets going against Ryan Feltner of the Colorado Rockies. Guy that's a very young pitcher, hasn't had too much success at the MLB level at this point in time. Should be a good matchup for the Mets hitters, although they do have no history versus him in the past, so we'll see how that all shakes out. And then last but not least, we have the Houston Astros going against Chris Archer of the Minnesota Twins. Quite a few of these hitters have hit him pretty well in the past, so do not mind going back to the Astros once again today. And even with that being said, if you want to go to like Baltimore versus Lance Lynn, there's some opportunities there as well, even though they're not one of my top four. Lance Lynn's kind of been a guy that's been hit or miss so far this year, and some of these Baltimore hitters do have pretty good history versus him as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, August 25th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on today's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Chances of that are probably a little bit smaller today since it's only a 6-game slate. And typically, slates I like to play a little bit lighter, but this slate overall, I like it, so I'm not going to go too much lighter than I typically would on today's slate overall. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Primarily MLB DFS at this point in time, but once we get back around to the NFL and the NBA regular seasons, I'll be covering those two sports as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.